Hello, welcome back to Studio Ghibli Week on Thomas Pollock's channel, and I'm doing a guest review today, and I'm Luke, RazorwireReviews on YouTube if you haven't seen my videos or channel already. And yeah, Thomas asked me to do a video for this week-long series, and I was definitely interested. A little bit reticent because I'm doing my own Hayao Miyazaki review series at the minute, but I thought, you know, I definitely should get involved in this because I love Studio Ghibli, and I thought I would review my favourite film from Studio Ghibli, which is Porco Rosso. But before I get to that, I want to kind of tell you very quickly my Studio Ghibli story, how I first got into the films and so on. So in 2010, 5 years ago, my fiance showed me some anime films. I wanted to see some, hadn't really delved into that world before, and one film she showed me was Princess Mononoke, directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and it's a Studio Ghibli film. And I kind of was blown away by how mature it was, and how different it was, and how epic it was, and the messages within it, and so on and so forth. I thought, wow, that's pretty deep. You know, I was quite surprised. But for some reason, I never really kind of followed up on it, never really looked out to find more Studio Ghibli films or more Hayao Miyazaki films. And then 3 years later, in 2013, I did my Michael Keaton Month series, where I reviewed every film that my favourite actor Michael Keaton has appeared in. And I looked through his filmography in preparation for that series, and I saw that he had lended his voice to a Disney dub of a film called Porco Rosso. I thought, well, I've got to watch that then. And when I looked into it, I thought, oh my god, this is the film. And it's kind of almost a mystery to me over the past 18, 19 years, or at least before 2013, that there was this film I watched with my grandpa, who's, he's passed away many years ago now, but one of these strong memories I have of him is me sitting down as a very young boy, as a kid, watching this film, this animated film, and it had this weird, ugly man flying a plane, and he started swearing. And I remember looking at my grandpa like, and he looked at me like, and we just kind of both did a double take, like, okay, there's a cartoon, but there's swearing in it. And then my grandpa kind of went, there we go then. And then we just carried on watching, and it's one of those really fun memories I have. But I never knew what the film was. I tried to look and find it, but I never could, because all I could think of was ugly man in a plane. Then I found out it was Porco Rosso. I watched Porco Rosso, and I was just like, oh my god. And not only just the sentimentality or the nostalgia attached to it for me, but the film itself, I fell in love with. It's my favourite animated film of all time. I don't think it's the best animated film of all time, but for me it just ticks all my boxes, just the sensibility of it and the feel of it and just everything about it, and I'll get into it in just a minute. And then after that, I thought, wow, this Hayao Miyazaki is clearly a genius, I need to see more of his films. But I didn't follow it up again because I kind of felt like I want to keep my little Porco Rosso love here and not have any other film come in and challenge it. And then last December 2014, I finally bit the bullet and watched Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which Thomas reviewed on Tuesday, I think, and blown away by it, and thought, okay, screw it, I'm just going to watch everything. So I watched everything. Porco Rosso is still my favourite, but it's definitely not the best Studio Ghibli film, it's definitely not the best Hayao Miyazaki film, but it is still my favourite, and I have it here. I have the Japanese Blu-ray edition. My fiance was in Japan at the time that I watched this for the first time, and I said, can you find the Blu-ray for me, because these are the very, very cool Studio Ghibli Japanese Blu-ray editions. They're kind of like digibooks. I won't take it out of the packaging, but you open it, it's like a book, and you get a little leaflet inside, a couple of posters and things like that. It's an amazing Blu-ray, it looks fantastic. You get all three versions of the film. You get the Japanese language version with English subtitles. I mean, I'm blown away that they included English subtitles on these Japanese releases, because it makes them so accessible. They're region free, and it also has the English dub from Disney with Michael Keaton playing Porco Rosso, and also the French dub, which is apparently Hayao Miyazaki's favourite version of the film. So, great Blu-ray. Now, the film itself is about a guy, and you can see him there, his silhouette, Porco Rosso. I'll put the film back on the shelf, but Porco Rosso is a fighter pilot in the, I think it's the late 20s, early 30s that the film takes place, and it's kind of set on the Croatian coast, basically. Lots of little islands and things like that, and it's near Italy. That's my Facebook Messenger popping off. It's probably Thomas saying, you need to get this video to me soon, because I've done it on the last minute. But yeah, it's set on kind of like in the coast of like Italy and Croatia, and just beautiful scenery, beautiful locations. And Porco Rosso, again, former fighter pilot from World War I. But he's now kind of out of the army without official leave, and he's a bounty hunter. and he has the appearance of a humanoid pig, hence Porco Rosso, which is Italian for crimson pig. He flies a red biplane. Biplane? Where did biplane come from? Is that the right term? Seaplane. Biplane. Is biplane a thing? Let me know. But yeah, a red seaplane, and that's just brilliant. I love his plane. I love him. And yeah, he's a bit, a bit of a bulky guy now. He's got the face of a pig. No one really seems to question it. He's just Porco Rosso, and that's what they call him. His real name is, of course, isn't Crimson Pig. It's Marco. But he doesn't really, he's lost the will to even care about people calling him a pig, and it's basically, I don't want to spoil too much about it, but he kind of sees himself as a pig, and he has no real respect for himself anymore, and it goes back to the war. And this is kind of a light film, there's very fun and, silly, cartoony things in it at times, but there's such a serious feeling underneath it that I got from the film. And also it goes to the horrors of war. It doesn't fully delve into it like a great drama or anything, but it's always there. It underpins everything, I think, and everything the characters do. It comes from the war and the repercussions of that, and what happens after the war, and what will happen if there's another war. And I may be looking into it too much. It's not really a war film, but the effects of war and it's there. It's definitely there. And I really like that kind of message that's put in there, especially this fantastic scene, which, I don't think it's spoiling anything, but there's a great scene where Marco's remembering when he was in World War One, and he passes out in his plane, and then suddenly the plane starts taking control of itself, and it goes up above the clouds, and he wakes up and he's like, what's going on? And he sees one of his friends in another plane, and it just floats up above him, and he looks up and there's this huge band across the sky, just the blue, almost in the atmosphere, it's so high, and when he looks closer he realizes it's just a sea of planes that have been shot down. It's like a plane graveyard, and it's the music in that scene is just incredibly haunting and very weird and eerie, and that whole scene is just incredible to me, and that's one of the things that makes the film so special, is it has these great emotional moments, but it's still a fun film. I showed it to my little brother last month in December, and he loved it. He thought it was really fun, and he enjoyed Porco Rosso and the action. There's lots of scenes of the plane flying and just beautiful scenery. Again, the backgrounds are incredible, painted backgrounds, beautiful, and the characters are really fun. And I won't go into the storyline too much, but basically this American pilot turns up and he wants to challenge Porco Rosso because he's kind of notorious in the area. He shoots him down. Porco has to take his plane into Milan, back to Italy, where he's kind of a wanted man because he left the army without officially, being given leave. And so he's kind of a fugitive in a way, as he gets his plane rebuilt in Milan. And as is typical with Hayao Miyazaki, his plane is redesigned and rebuilt by a girl. Initially, Porco is really no chance as a young girl redesigning my plane, but he gives her a chance, and she turned out to be a genius pretty much at doing it. And her name's Fio, and she's another important character in the film. And again, Miyazaki really puts a spotlight on strong female characters in his films, and I love that. And I love the character of Fio, and Gina, maybe not so much, but she's still a good character. And Curtis is a funny, goofy character, but it just fits within the whole tone of the film. It is quite weird when you think about it, because it has these serious things with war, but then it's just quite silly in other parts. But for me, every single scene is memorable. Every single scene, something about it just delights me. It's one of my favourite films of all time. It's my top 20 favourite films. And the music as well is incredible. It's like classy but fun, and but beautiful at the same time. Joe Hisaishi is just amazing at creating scores for Miyazaki's films, Studio Ghibli films in general, and definitely recommend you check this film out. The Blu-ray itself, I can't really recommend kind of the special features or anything because they're in Japanese. I think that's an interview with Toshio Suzuki. It does have the storyboard option for the whole film, and it also has like a couple of trailers and things like that. It also has basically, I think it's the whole script, and you can flick through it on your TV, but I'm pretty sure it's in, well, it is in Japanese. It might be, I'm not sure if it is the script because again it's all Japanese, so I couldn't really make sense of it, but it might be something else. But either way, there's a lot of special features on there. But again, I wouldn't recommend anyone pick that up because it is so expensive and you really need to love the film, I think. But either way, Porco Rosso, an amazing film. I love it. I definitely won't stand here and say it's an amazing film that will blow anyone away. I think most people probably just enjoy it for what it is, quite a fun little film with a a little bit of emotion underneath there, but for me it's just one of those things where it ticks all my boxes, and everything about it I just love. It's just awesome. I want to live in that land of you know, the Croatian coast, and the little island hideaway that Porco has is just fantastic. And yeah, so there you go. That's my thoughts on Porco Rosso very quickly. For me anyway. I mean, 10 minutes is it's pretty short for my kind of video, but there you go. I'm doing a review series of Hayao Miyazaki's films, so you can check that out on my channel. Otherwise, stay tuned and subscribe to this channel. Thomas is putting out some great videos, and I'm very happy to be a part of this Studio Ghibli week. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on my channel. If not, stay tuned to Thomas's. Nice one.